very special guest
Yeah.
here. We have Ben Harmon on the pod.
First RDP alumni.
Yeah.
I believe. Yeah.
Well, thank you for having me. I'm happy to be here.
Yeah, very happy to have
Welcome to
you.
the pit. We usually start with like a little introduction from the guest. Favorite movies, kind of just inspirations, maybe stuff like that. So
Yeah.
you take the floor a bit.
Well, as mentioned, my name's Ben. I graduated from the film program at RDP last year. I've just been a big movie fan since I was a teenager. Really, some of my favorite movies are I love Spirited Away. I love basically every Ghibli thing.
Yeah.
Chunking Express is one of my favorites. House,
Oh yeah.
House
which I think we were at the same
Yeah.
screening of House, right?
Yeah,
At the Metro.
Metro.
Oh,
That
nice.
It was
really
sold
fun.
out. That
I
was
want to see
really
that
fun.
in theaters so bad. That's
It
one of
was
those ones that
amazing, yeah.
you see in high school. At least for me, I see in high school when I'm first getting into movies. It's like movies can be different.
Oh, it completely blew my mind. Yeah, when I
Movies
first saw
can
that, it
be
was
something.
Yeah.
unreal.
Yeah. Yeah. No, House is great. Did you ever see the new Ghibli movie?
Boy and the Heron.
Yeah.
Yeah, I loved it.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
pretty dope. Quite enjoyed it.
He's probably my favorite director.
Yeah.
I love everything about him.
Did you engage on that movie on the level of like, because I know I'm not super into Ghibli, truth be told, but I know there's like a meta narrative in that with it being about Hayao Miyazaki.
Yeah.
Like,
Well, I
fucking
think
moving on or whatever.
the old man who kind of runs the balance of that world.
Yeah.
Yeah.
To me, the metaphor there is that world is kind of the studio, and the boy is his grandson trying to.
Oh, that's
kind
beautiful.
Because before the movie came out, the whole all we knew about it was like a message to his grandson that even though he won't be around forever, that he loves him, and
That is really
That's
nice.
really beautiful. Yeah.
the whole meta narrative around it, I think is fantastic. Yeah, but I
Yeah.
also understand it's kind of hard to pick up if you don't
yeah.
for my
Yeah.
first watch, I think some of it went over my head.
Yeah, I've seen it like 3 times now, and
Yeah.
it's still a lot of it is like, I know there's something deeper here. I just don't have
It's a hard one to crack. Yeah.
the skill set to get in there. But yeah, it's awesome. Is that going to be the last? I swear I heard that was going to be the last.
I've heard
so-
one more. He's.
One more?
I think
Keep
Miyazaki's
saying.
making one more.
Nice. Well, I hope so. It's great stuff. I'm not the biggest anime guy, but everything I've seen by him is really beautiful.
Yeah.
Really great stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Would you ever consider like going into animation or anything like that? Or?
Before I even had any interest in joining and entering the film industry, my family told me I should be a stop motion animator.
No,
Nice.
yeah.
Because I when I was a kid, I loved Wallace and Gromit and
Oh, yeah.
all that stuff.
So magical, all that stuff, man.
Yeah.
I still think I know there's no market for it anymore. Like there's very few stop motion animators in the world, but I would
Yeah.
love to do that.
And that's
I think
Yeah.
it'd be
like
so
a
much fun.
very driven, artistic point to do
Or
it.
already established like the Wallace and Gromit guys, right?
Yeah, or like Wes Anderson
Yeah.
is able to do that. And,
Yeah.
I do love stop motion. It's something I've like played with so much over the years, doing like stupid little like Lego stop motion
Yeah.
stuff.
Yeah, I made a Duel of Fates on my 3DS when I was
Nice.
11. It was
Yeah.
terrible.
It's just so much fun, man. Like if you just have the patience and some skills to get it done, you can just create such magical environments and things.
Yeah.
Something I want to play with more now that I have more of a filmmaking perspective on it. It'd be really cool to try to combine those principles. Yeah.
Every stop motion thing that I made was just ever the wide shot, right? And then you do everything
Think
and it's so
about
much
it.
work.
Think
but
about it. Pushing into a close up, maybe.
That's crazy.
Doing a
It's
crazy little
crazy.
camera movements. That could be crazy. Imagine
I-
trying to pull off a dolly zoom in a stop motion.
Yeah.
oh, geez.
That'd be crazy.
I don't understand how camera movement works in stop motion, like at all. Whenever I see the camera like pan or anything, I'm
has to
like,
get
how did they
so
do that?
scientific.
It's so
It's-
cool. Yeah.
Yeah,
it has
it's
to
wild.
get so scientific, right? Because you have to match up the movement of the camera with the movement of everything in the frame
Yeah.
to like create that illusion of a smooth movement.
Well, and I don't know if this is the case, but to me, like the camera movement feels like faster or like it's been animated more quickly than the like figures, right? Like I don't know. I
There's
don't
some
know
crazy,
how it's
like,
done.
have you seen The Wrong Trousers, the Wallace and Gromit one?
Yeah.
With Feathers McGraw? 'Cause that's like the train chase sequence, and that is like the craziest thing that's ever been
Yeah.
made in stop motion. I've read a whole bunch of things. Like even Tristan Oliver, the cinematographer of it, did like a Q&A with Letterboxd in like 2017.
Yeah.
He like answered one of my questions about it, and I still don't understand how
yeah.
that's even possible.
It's crazy
incredible.
good art form. Have you seen Mad God?
I have seen
Yeah.
Mad God. I was like slightly underwhelmed with it, but like
Okay,
the
yeah.
whole it's an unbelievable
Oh yeah,
technical
just
feat.
technically,
Yeah,
visually, it's insane.
it's
I
unbelievable.
do feel kind of the similar sentiments with underwhelming because there's not a ton of narrative backbone. It feels really there. But other than that, like visually, it is a marvel.
Yeah.
It is just a visual feast.
I haven't seen Mad God, but that's the one that was just like all made by one
It's
person,
Phil Tippett.
right?
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know if the entire thing was just made by him. I think
It was
he
his
got-
like huge, like his
Yeah.
passion project for
Okay,
years.
I know,
'Cause
like-
he's done
Yeah.
like lots of stuff. He's done visual effects for
Yeah, he
like
did
Star Wars,
RoboCop,
right?
yeah.
Yeah.
Oh,
I
yeah.
could be wrong with Star Wars, but
Yeah, I think
so.
he did
Yeah.
Empire maybe. But anyways, I think a lot of the movie was done by himself, like a lot of handcraft. He did all the models, but there are certain bits where he just has to get help because it is insanely ambitious, some of the bits and all the different environments you're jumping to. Flawless little movie.
Yeah.
Oh, so cool, man.
It's been on my list forever.
Yeah.
I'll definitely have to watch
Just
it.
throw it on a rainy Sunday afternoon. It'll hit. I love it. Yeah. And he's working on another one, I believe.
Oh, is he?
Yeah.
That's cool.
How
doing
old
some-
is he then? Like
He's got to be like 70s.
Yeah,
I would imagine.
He's been working for that long. And how long did Mad God take to see?
A long time.
Yeah.
Yeah. Man, it's inspiring though.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
believe in him.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You got it, Phil. Keep cracking.
I don't know. Even just making a live action movie on my own, like I couldn't imagine like all the work and just
There's like something kind of entrancing about the idea of a stop motion film, just being able to do so much on your own if you just have the patience and, you know, the fortitude for it. I've always found that really entrancing as somebody who doesn't love having to like lead all these groups of people and finds it kind of, you know, headache inducing having to get all these people together, all their locations, equipment and stuff. Stop motion has certainly been entrancing in that department and then just frustrating in practice.
you do all this work and you have like 2 seconds.
Well, that's the Parks and Rec bit, right?
Yeah, exactly.
Could the press person make this?
Yeah.
Yeah. Love it though. Have you seen what the fuck is the one? Loving Vincent or something? The movie where the
No, I
entire-
haven't actually seen that.
Yeah,
It looks
me
really
neither.
cool because that's like it's not stop motion. It's just every frame is literally a
Yeah.
painting.
That's crazy.
It's unbelievable.
Yeah.
That is crazy. Like, it'd be such a waste of opportunity to not make like a gallery for that movie where you just have like, you know, just one line where you put people on treadmills going past all the paintings.
I
Yeah.
think that's like a letterbox review of the Grand Prix the Best to Tell is there any way that you could just put every frame of this film on a wall and just ride my bicycle past
Yeah,
it?
yeah.
Watch it.
That
It's
would
like
be
the
awesome.
craziest flipperama ever.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah, I love it.
No, it's so fun.
Yeah, I haven't seen that one. Gotta check it out.
There's
But,
just too many movies, you know.
I know.
Never going
endless.
to be enough time.
Feels like every day everyone's talking about a new movie that is just I've never heard of and sounds so cool.
Yeah. And that's something from the new professor that we've gotten. Like, my watch list has,
yeah.
like, doubled in size from being in that class with him. Where,
Ben's never met Ben.
yeah.
I don't think I have. No.
Yeah.
Is he new this year?
We got
Yeah.
a new professor this year who has really
Radically.
flipped the program on its head.
Really?
Radically
Oh.
In,
changed
like,
the
every
program.
way. Yeah.
Yeah.
But, yeah,
The
it's
great
really
results
good.
though.
Yeah.
Great result.
We
Yeah.
all make our own films and stuff. Which
Does he
is
actually
cool.
like have you watch movies? Because that's
Yeah.
something we never
Yeah.
really had. Like,
Yeah.
Forces us to watch movies, forces us to do sit down. We're gonna study this movie theory, you know, like see it in practice, and then guys gonna go out each semester. You're gonna make 4 projects, each with like strict restrictions, like you can't move the camera in a project, or it has to be 3-minute long take. All these things, but as long as you hit the obstructions, that's
Yeah.
what it calls in the
oh,
rules.
like the 5 Instructions,
It's
the Lars von
exactly
Trier.
like the
Yeah,
Five
that's a good
it's
movie.
exactly
Yeah.
like that one. You get an 8 out of 10. You get a pass. But if you're able to wow him, you get a 10 out of 10. It's a great system. Fantastic
sounds cool.
system.
Yeah. And just learning all of these, like, formal things that I feel like we hadn't learned in any of the other classes. and
Deconstructed
just-
crosscuts. That shit's
Yeah.
so cool.
Yeah, there wasn't too much theory that we learned.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
more just like operation, I suppose.
Oh, yeah.
Which
yeah.
like
How to
that's
operate a
useful,
set.
obviously, but
Definitely.
yeah.
Longueur of a shot. I love that.
All
yeah.
these things.
It's been a great year for film education.
I'm interested. I'm excited. I don't know like anything about any of the movies that you guys have shot this year. I'm very excited for the
yeah.
showcase to see. I'm excited for
Yes.
Magpies.
Hell yeah.
yeah.
Awesome. Yeah.
It'll be fun. You can log it on Letterboxd
Yeah.
afterwards.
Yeah, 10 out of 10 only, though. That's the only kind of rule about logging it.
No. Rate it fairly. So you'll be at the showcase?
Oh, yeah, I'll be there.
Nice. Yeah.
Nice.
It's
Yeah.
fun. I went to the judging panel for the showcase this year, and it took us 8.5 hours to get through
Ooh,
all of
boy.
them. and that was that was pretty great.
Yeah.
I
I
would
was
do that
I was
again.
one of the judges last year, and it was pretty brutal.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was one of the judges last year before the whole thing.
Oh
kinda
yeah,
got-
I was the second wave.
the second wave of judges. I was on the secret panel, I guess, the hidden jury.
I can't believe you revealed that.
Oh my god, I revealed
These
it.
are important secrets.
Yeah.
My life is on the line now. Gosh, it was so dramatic last year, all of it.
Yeah, I know.
A certain
It all seemed a
figure.
little silly to me. But
Yeah,
oh, very
definitely.
silly. A certain figure in the program was running around. It's all water
the
under the
show.
bridge now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, it's good. You were able to do a lot of projects and stuff in your 4th year.
Yeah.
I don't know. Do you want to talk about anything like that? Just
yeah,
inspire us who are going in.
yeah.
now. Just-
Well, are you guys staying in Red Deer for your 4th year?
I will be. Yeah.
I'm gonna be going to Calgary because I did
Okay.
like ICG course.
Oh
thing, so
right,
I'm gonna
yes,
be-
yeah, I heard about that. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. So that's good. We got like very slightly shafted because that we like a bunch of us moved to Calgary and then the strikes happened
Oh,
right
right.
then.
Yeah,
that's
So
tough.
none of us actually got on the sets really that year,
Yeah.
but that did afford us the opportunity to do a little bit more
Yeah.
on set. Like I got to
Right.
direct 2 projects. I think Dane
awesome.
directed 2.
Yeah.
Becca directed 1, and yeah, it's just fun to have it
Yeah.
fully open like
And
that. Yeah.
It was that things where you like went through government funding, or you kind of just
No, we
self-funded?
we didn't do any of that yet. We're looking into that right now
Yeah.
for projects. There's
Nice.
lots of grants out there.
Yeah, for sure.
Which is promising.
Well,
Yeah.
that's super inspiring because that's kind of the path I kind of want to take right now. Obviously, like move towards union work and set work where I can because I have to make money. But I really just want to be making my stuff.
Yeah, that's kind of where I landed after the
Yeah.
4 years was
Mhm.
I kind of need to do my own thing.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I feel.
No, that's fair.
Just want to make stuff.
Set
make
life
movies.
is really weird. Like being on big sets, working for other people. I don't know. It's great, and it's very like thrilling, but it's also like I feel like such just a piece in this rather than like I don't know
looking
any kind of
forward to it.
creative.
I
It's
got,
fun.
I got my first film job at the end of April ever. I'm very
cool.
excited about that. Very nervous.
Where's it filming?
Red Deer.
Oh, cool.
Here in Red Deer.
Nice.
It's apparently a big TV show. Just gonna be a
Don't know which one though.
Yeah, gonna be a PA, so that'll be fun.
Nice.
It'll be super fun. Yeah.
Yeah, I've only had one paid position so far. It was Brooke shot something that
Oh, nice.
like it was a funded project. Like they had like a $20,000 budget or something.
Oh, wow.
nice. Yeah.
They rented my camera for it.
Nice. Perfect.
Nice, yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
What kind of camera you got?
I have an FX6.
Nice.
Oh,
Yeah.
you're my best friend.
Yeah, it was like a unbelievable. I'm still kind of in shock about it. It was a graduation gift from my parents.
Yeah, that's
Nice.
awesome, man.
Yeah.
It was fun.
Yeah.
Like a few months before I got it, my dad was like, "Would you rather have a 16mm camera or an FX6?" And I was like, "Well, 16mm would be cool, but I guess FX6 is more practical."
Yeah.
And then like we went to Calgary one day and we're at VizTech, and
Yeah.
like I didn't know why we were going there, and he was like,
Oh,
"We can get an
that's
FX6."
so
And I was like,
sweet. That is awesome, man.
That is awesome.
What do you got for lenses on that bad boy?
just like the basic,
Mhm.
like the
The kit lens.
yeah, it's just the one
Nice.
like it's a 24 to 105, I think.
Yeah.
It's only goes down to f4, which is
Yeah.
not fantastic.
yeah,
Still
Um,
versatile though. You can.
Yeah, yeah.
Get some good stuff with it.
Have you looked into lenses for that guy?
Yeah, we've looked at a few. We rented one for the last
Mm-hmm.
project we did, and we have an adapter now, so we can get EF lenses on it.
There you go. Yeah.
But I'd definitely like to get some more, because you
So
can get
expensive.
some like a really good lens is so expensive.
Yeah,
it's
crazy.
brutal. But you can get some like vintage like Russian lenses and whatnot.
Yeah,
For not that
yeah.
much to have a lot of character.
Okay.
Yeah.
How are the f-stops on those? Do
They can
give you
be
a
pretty
bit?
good. Like
Okay.
like Noah has some that I think go down to like 1.4 or something.
Yeah.
Like that, yeah.
Yeah, I've been looking
pretty
to
great.
make the jump into a proper camera because I've been just shooting all my personal projects on my Canon Rebel T7i right now, which is, I love her to death, but she's rough. Very rough. Starter photography camera. So.
It's not the camera, it's the operator.
Exactly.
It's not the pilot, it's the plane.
It's true.
Exactly.
It's true.
That's not
all
the
that.
pilot's the plane.
Yeah.
So one of these days, maybe proper camera,
Yeah.
or maybe.
And some of the stuff
No.
we were trying to shoot with it, at least last summer, was pretty ambitious. Like pretty low light. Just
Yeah, I think light was our
In-
biggest issue,
yeah.
and that fucking tripod.
yeah.
Because I wanted to do every shot kind of loose, right? You know, the actors were going to be moving, so their close-ups would have to be pretty fluid to capture them. And just this tripod, dude, was so janky.
Not a fluid
fluid
head.
head whatsoever.
yeah.
Photography, so like it'd like jerk, and then
Yeah.
be like, Every time you jerk over,
That's the
so
same with
all
my
the
tripod,
audio is
yeah.
pretty
Yeah.
fucked. Oh man.
And we shot that project in like the dustiest barn ever.
Yeah.
Like had to move everything out of there, and one of the actors was not happy about that at all.
I
But it was fun.
personally was not affected by the dust once.
I think you were just riding on some like crazy adrenaline because it was really bad.
Yeah.
We did a project. It was the year above us, but it was like a very cold night shoot, also in a dusty barn.
Yeah.
I was doing sound, and the whole time, like, I was locked in a position where there was a dead bird right beside me in
Oh
the barn.
God!
Oh, genuine dead bird? or
Yes, there was a
prop?
dead
Oh,
bird right there.
All production value.
Yeah.
that was
My
a
lord.
fun set.
That sounds
Yeah,
like
I don't love outdoor shoots.
No,
No,
I'm like,
especially since the whole term is winter.
I know it's
Yeah.
brutal.
If we're outside, it's gonna be so cold.
it's like this could be an inside project. Couldn't hurt.
Yeah.
But the green screen.
Exactly.
Our eye was on a pretty brutal set a little bit ago, where a lot of it was outside shooting, and one of the actors in it was like a monster who had to be in like a skin tight suit. And
This was like
that's
a minus
it.
30 weekend.
And couldn't see out the mask. Was in high heels that didn't have the heel on them, so he could not walk at all,
Yeah.
right? Because they're going for like a hooved leg. It's like, this dude's gonna die. You have him walking up and down icy cold hills, man. He's slipping. He can't see. He's freezing to death. It was rough stuff, man.
We make
Rough
actors
stuff.
go through
Yeah.
terrible things.
Yeah.
We had one where it was Noah was the actor, and it was like 2 a.m. out in the woods. He was just like in a t-shirt. His character was dead, so there's like fake blood on him, but he's like, everything was taking forever.
Yeah.
It felt so bad.
Oh man, actors get a bad rap, but they truly are doing everything.
Yeah.
Not everything, but they're like a crucial piece of the puzzle, and anyone who says otherwise is ridiculous.
Even the like repetitive motions of being an actor, like it's impressive that you can still get a performance, and they've done this. It's the 20th time or whatever they're doing the same
I
thing.
just find it so shocking
It's really
because
cool.
for me, the times I've acted, to be able to like memorize your lines, do all this stuff, and then get in front of like all these people, and then like down the line, it's gonna be all this money in front of you, right? Just waiting on you, and then you have to get up there and be vulnerable,
Yeah.
and like show emotion. And be silly and absurd and all these things. Like, oh, how do people do that? It sends a
Yeah,
chill down my
actors are
spine.
amazing. I don't know how they do it.
No,
I've
me
done
neither.
like one acting thing recently. It was Graham's project. Now this was one of the coolest things I think we've done.
Yeah.
So we were doing there's this effect in this old movie. It's like the octopus lady or something.
I'm not sure.
Oh, was
but
the
it's
one
a
where like
witch.
the face like
Changes
changes
with
Yeah,
the
like
lighting.
the
exactly.
Witcher or something?
Yeah,
like
we did that.
Oh,
so
that's
I
cool.
was covered in red face paint. To make me look old.
Blue hair dye.
And my hair was like neon blue. I felt like the Joker.
I have a picture of it.
It's ridiculous. It's ridiculous.
Yeah, it's a great.
But it was really cool because it'd be black and white in the edit, but in the space it was like red lighting. So the red face paint was
Without the lighting.
Looks great.
Yeah.
it felt pretty silly. Like with the red lighting, it'd be like nothing on my face, just black hair, and then it switched to blue, and it's like all these black lines would show up on my face. My hair would turn white. Super cool stuff. But just trying to be like, take it serious and not feel how like embarrassed and silly doing it all. I don't know. It's tough. I don't know how actors
I
do
mean, that's
it.
part of directing, right? Is making the
Yeah.
space for the actors to
Yeah.
be vulnerable like
Definitely.
that. That's
Making
a really
sure you-
important part of it.
Making sure they know what you're looking for
Yeah.
too, like using languages that isn't like just arbitrary
Yeah,
and like
exactly.
meaningless.
Yeah.
Because I find like that is a lot of like directors I've seen like working with actors. It'll be just very vague, like very like it's a sad scene, you know. This is what you're feeling, like reject them or something. I don't know. Like I feel like Glenn here at RDP teaches in a very good, manageable way.
And
how
gives
to deal
people
with
like the
actors.
vocabulary to
tools to-
connect
yeah.
with an actor, right?
Yeah.
In a way that
Have
helps performance.
you found with your collaborations with actors and working with directors as a director, have you found you've been using kind of that Glennisms kind of method or kind of your own mishmash?
Yes, but I don't use the exact same language. Like I won't be like this is
Yummy.
Friday at 4:45 or something.
Yeah, yeah.
Like it. Sometimes you will. In fact, actually, one of the actors in our last shoots had taken Glenn's class, so I was
There you go.
able to talk about that a little bit. But
Yeah.
it is that system. I find it's more useful. Like you're never going to get a good performance by being like, okay, now you walk over here and you're feeling so angry, you're feeling so
Yeah.
mad. You have to.
Draw from what
Yeah,
they've
there's
experienced.
it all has to come from them.
Yeah.
You can't force those emotions. So
From some kind of
You
truth,
just
right?
snap your fingers, and now you've experienced like this traumatic thing. Yeah.
Cry for me. Yeah.
Yeah. No. Filmmaking.
Yeah.
Great business.
I find it so hard at the beginning, directing an actor and like just finding that language that is common between the two of you, especially when it's a scene.
That's
like,
still the thing I struggle with. The most.
there has to be some kind of emotion or argumentative thing where it's
Yeah.
like, you're not quite giving it to me, but I don't know how to communicate this to you.
I'm still terrible.
You
I'm
haven't.
still not good at that. Yeah.
Yeah, it's tough.
It's so tough because I feel like with camera, with lighting, with
Yeah.
all these other things, I've developed to a point where it's like I know what I want, and I know.
When they're machines, you have so much more
yeah,
control.
Yeah,
too.
I
exactly.
kind of know how to do it. You know, put a light at the ceiling or something.
Yeah.
But with actors, it's like I don't know.
And it's like every actor will react differently to
Yeah.
what you're
Yeah.
giving them, so you have to find what's right for them, which that's also a big part of
Yeah,
the whole process.
and even finding the balance between like rehearsing and then too much rehearsal, where like they're
Yeah, where they have
it-
none of that natural.
Yeah, exactly.
Clumsiness,
Reaction.
You know?
Yeah.
Yeah.
it's tough.
Yeah.
I don't know. I haven't done a lot of directing yet, but I definitely want to do more. Like,
Me
it's
neither.
fun.
That's why this summer I'm gonna be hitting my grind of doing like a bunch of projects, but I need to force myself into more traditional narrative stuff. I can't just keep going crazy experimental with everything.
That was our problem for a while. We did like 3 projects in a row that had like no
Yeah.
dialogue
But
scenes.
it's
Yeah.
so much fun.
I know.
It's
Yeah.
my favorite. Like
I
the
agree.
last.
Editing those experimental stuff.
Oh,
It's so much
it's
more
such
fun.
a blast going into there with sound, man. Just going on Pixabay and finding like the weirdest sounds. It is so much fun. But that has been my last like 6 projects, so I gotta do something a little different.
Yeah.
As much as that breaks my heart.
This summer too, be fun to work with different actors too.
Oh yeah, I feel like I've developed such a catalog of actors just like on sets, like being like Yoink, steal your information, or Colby, Jason Steele,
Yeah.
Emma.
Yeah.
Even though Colby's
You're
in,
stealing
like,
all my
Berlin,
actors.
right?
Yeah, an actor that I had for my short film like has now moved to Berlin to like become
Oh,
a theater
really?
director. Like they
Whoa.
got a grant. It's crazy.
God
Yeah,
bless,
so
man.
I was just
God
able to
bless.
snag them for like a second.
Yeah,
before they
no, and he
make the big time.
He delivered. He's great in that movie. Yeah.
I'm glad you guys used the gorilla costume.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's
I
gotten a lot of
striking.
use
Yeah.
in the last few years.
exactly.
Yeah.
I love the gorilla outfit. We have a friend in the program who, for one of our shoots, unprompted decided to wear the gorilla costume throughout the entire thing. Was just suffering, sweating to death.
You
But
just
it was a fun
looking
bit.
around, and out of the corner of your eye, you see a gorilla staring at you. And at a certain point, you didn't know if it was man or gorilla anymore. You know, it was really scary.
Yeah.
Ugh. But that's gorillas. We're here to talk about mankind.
For all mankind. What a great transition.
Best in pod history.
Probably.
It's up there.
Yeah, our pod history for
Yeah.
sure. We've had some rough transitions. We feel like most of the time it's like, oh, we should probably talk about the movie because it's been an hour of preamble.
Yeah.
Every good podcast about a theme has to start with at least half an hour preamble.
Exactly.
That's what I'm
Important.
Exactly.
saying. That's what I'm saying, Sam.
Yeah. I'm not fighting against that. I just think there's a point sometimes where it's like, okay, we're on hour 2 and there's no we've just been complaining about mostly the film program for the last 2 hours.
Yeah, but that's what the people come for.
Yeah.
But for all mankind, is this the first doco of the pod?
I think so. Our first documentary on Critterpit.
We had a Mako.
Yeah. This is Spinal Tap.
Yeah,
Yeah, true.
great movie.
There's Spinal Tap 2 apparently coming out.
I know, which is
Really?
crazy.
Yeah.
Is,
It's about a washed up band. How much more washed up are they going to be in 40 years?
Is Michael McKean gonna be in it?
I think
I
so.
think they're
Because
all
he's
in
like
it.
my favorite actor
Yeah, he's awesome.
ever, man.
Yeah.
So that could be fun.
That's how you got one of the actor's numbers the other day on set. You compared him to...
There's this guy
Chuck.
who looked so much like Chuck McGill from Better Call Saul, if you're familiar with that character. And I am so obsessed with that show, like chronically obsessed with that show. And he looked so much like him that afterwards I knew I was going to have to get his number, right? And I just opened up the conversation with like, dude, you are so much like Chuck McGill. And I mean that as the highest praise I could ever give an actor. And it worked.
He did.
We're like this now. Best buds.
Text every
Flattery
day,
work.
I'm sure.
You know? But one day.
Yeah.
One day. But we're getting distracted.
Yes.
For all mankind.
Great movie.
Yeah, we normally let the guests do a little intro for it. So I don't know. Just
Yeah, so For All Mankind was a film released in 1989, directed by Al Reinert. It's a documentary that chronicles the Apollo missions 7 through 17. And it's presented with very little context to the images. It's kind of all, every mission is kind of presented all as one.
Yeah.
Which I thought was a really interesting way of approaching it. It was mostly unseen footage, from what I understand. That was the director learned about.
Took like 10 years to get out.
Yes, it did. Like the soundtrack for the movie came out like 5 years before the movie came out.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
That's awesome.
And yeah, so it's just showing the Apollo missions with some voiceover from interviews with the astronauts, but it's never like the astronaut you're hearing will not be correlated to what you're seing on screen.
No,
and they never make that clear. Yeah.
In fact, the Criterion has a version that gives you context. It'll like tell you like who's who at each moment.
Yeah.
Actually, I didn't watch that, but I think that would be cool to see.
It was such an interesting approach to a documentary, because most documentaries I feel are coming at you at the point of like trying to convey information, give context on a historical event, or I guess all of them do this, like swayed you to a political side or something. But this one was just like pretty much just a visual audio experience.
Yeah, it's almost like
vibes of space.
It's like almost like lo-fi ASMR.
Yeah, it really
is.
That's a great way to describe it. Just you're hanging out with these guys for a lot of it, right? And there's bits where they're like, "Oh, you might wonder how we did this or how this was accomplished," but for the most part, the highlights on them throwing flashlights around,
or just playing the 2001 soundtrack on their cassette player. Like, that's so awesome.
The cassette player is such a vibe, man.
Yeah.
Oh my lord.
It's such an interesting look at astronauts who are like so like mythic in like American culture and stuff.
Oh yeah.
And then watching them in this, they're just like hanging out. They're just guys.
Humanity's culture, man. To make that jump to space, to step down on another celestial body, craziness.
Especially the contrast, because they're all like good old Southern boys.
Oh yeah. You're just my country music.
Like Buck Owens and Merle Haggard.
Yeah. So much fun. It's so humanizing though. And the structure of like, as you said, stitching all of the Apollo missions together into just this one long odyssey into space is so compelling. It really just, for me at least, drew me into it, and just, I don't know.
And there are some just like fantastic shots too. Like,
it's gorgeous.
Yeah. There's that one shot where the fuel bay just like exits off or whatever from the perspective of the ship. It's
I
so cool.
rewatched that shot like 5 times.
Yeah,
it's one of the most beautiful things I've ever seen. That almost have you guys seen La Chimera?
No.
It's like a recent movie by Alice I never remember her name. Rohrwacher.
Okay.
There's a shot in that of just the light moving through a train.
Yeah.
It almost reminded me of that, just the movement of the light.
It's so cool.
Within that, it's just gorgeous. And the interesting,
really recent.
It came out just last year with Josh O'Connor.
Oh yeah.
And one of the most fascinating things about this film is that almost none of these images were meant to be beautiful.
No.
They're meant to
scientific.
for scientific purposes. Yeah, but the way they're contextualized by Reinert and co, just unbelievably gorgeous.
Yeah, just in that little bit of context they give you, it's very powerful stuff. Just seeing our species' next steps, our next big steps out of their little playground. It's really cool.
Yeah,
really cool.
It's incredible. And even just like the restoration work that they put into this movie is like very interesting. Like there's that famous shot again of the guy like spacewalking, like the first spacewalk or whatever. But apparently they shot that at such like a weird frame rate that like the earth in the background would wobble like in the original footage. So they would go in and like frame by frame just make it look all smooth and like all together.
A few shots look stop motion.
Yeah.
Like even not even that, like when the shot of it's like the camera's down low when they're getting onto the shuttle and like you just see their feet walking through. It almost looks like there's just something interesting about it.
It's so cool.
This movie, I feel like it belongs in a league with that one movie I cannot pronounce the name of.
Koyaanisqatsi?
Yeah. For just movies that are just, would be lovely to get really high too. Just movies to just check out and just think about life. You know, you don't have to engage too much with like the information that they're giving you. You can just kind of feel what it makes you feel, kind of thing.
Yeah.
I really love that. It's such a unique approach to a documentary. And it's something I'd want to show people because I feel like a lot of people have an aversion to documentaries as kind of like boring or propaganda. I've heard people call documentaries. But like, I'd love to show somebody this who has that viewpoint.
Yeah.
You know, it's so different.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think this approach in general, it'll remind me a little bit of Moon Age Daydream, the David Bowie doc, which a film I didn't like love, but I like that approach to a musician documentary so much more than just like Dave Grohl showing up and talking about how cool this band was.
Yeah.
Like, just not like obviously the perspective of the director is there, but just allowing the viewer to view like this person or this time or this event as it is. And yeah.
I really like Moon Age Daydream. I've only seen it the one time. I was able to watch it in like the IMAX when it played,
cool.
which was it was awesome. There's so much. I think about that movie all the time. The repetitive nature of David Bowie being like, "I'm here now. I'm totally fine. Everything's changed." I love that. It's not really related to For All Mankind.
Honestly, it'd probably be a good double feature.
It would be, yeah.
It's the Starman.
Yeah, it's perfect.
That's a great double feature idea. I gotta check that out. Yeah.
Well, it's coming up in the Criterion release. Don't worry. It's
Yeah,
number
you guys are like
1200
1,000 away or something.
Yeah.
Oh man, we're
getting
keeping
there.
a
We're getting
good,
there.
Consistent rhythm. We'll get there soon.
Yeah.
This was a concept that was brought up to us by Alex in our documentary fundamentals class. The 2 weeks we actually talked about documentaries.
Not just AI.
What do you feel should be the role of a documentarian in the creation of a documentary? Should they strive to be, objective and display all the information, the facts, or should they be a little more subjective with it, be a little more fun with it, be a little more crazy with it?
Very much subjective for me. I think it's art, and the artist has to have their hand in the art. Like it's to me. I understand the approach that like some people would say that documentary should be objective, like quote unquote objective. But that's impossible, right?
Yeah,
like,
film is so inherently deceitful and not reality.
Yeah, it's any time you point a camera anywhere, that's revealing of the perspective of whoever's holding that camera.
Yeah. It's so interesting. Like the first 50 years of film history are all about like striving to make cinema as invisible as possible, right? They just increase verisimilitude as much as possible, and you see the breakdown in that. And I find it so fascinating when you see that in a documentary where you know what you're seeing is real, but the way they're playing with it is so unreal almost. I find that so interesting. And almost more truthful, because it's like that is what film is. They're just leaning into it a little more. I don't know.
Lean into the perspective, right? Like just wear it on your shoulder. Like one of my favorite movies that's kind of a documentary, like The Watermelon Woman.
Oh, it's
just
a great movie.
Yeah, half narrative, half documentary about trying to find this, random extra in the back of a movie. But it definitely awesome. It wears its like this is a subjective piece on its sleeve, and I think it's a really interesting way to make a documentary.
I find it's just a little deceitful otherwise, because it's like how you order shots, what you cut to after like a damning piece of footage.
Or score, right? Like it's so big.
Or you look at something like Gordon Ramsay's Hell Kitchen, how that's edited together, where Gordon Ramsay screams and berates people for hours, and they always cut it off with a crazy musical sting or a cut to credits or a cut to black or something, and everybody fucking loves Gordon Ramsay. People adore him. But then you flash forward 10 years back in his career, and you look at a documentary made when he was first becoming a celebrity chef, made in Britain without any of the Hollywood glamour and glitz, where he's doing the exact same thing, berating people, screaming at them, but they just hold in the shot instead.
Yeah.
That is like one of the most illuminating contrasts, I think, to just show like how different something can be just through the edit. Because it's pretty much the exact same thing, completely different effects. One is like great, funny stuff for a YouTube compilation, and the other one's like, oh,
this guy sucks.
This is monstrous. I just saw somebody's passions and dreams drain from their eyes working a fucking line. Like, that sucks. I don't like that guy anymore. So I don't know. That's my opinion on documentary film.
Yeah. Very interesting stuff.
Yeah.
Have you guys seen any Frederick Wiseman stuff?
I don't think so.
He's now he makes like mostly like really long. Like he made like a one about the like New York Public Library and Jackson Heights and whatnot. I just watched one of his early films called High School,
Okay.
which was it's just filmed entirely in the high school in 1960. I think it was filmed in 67, maybe 68. And
Yeah.
even Frederick Wiseman himself is like very invisible. Like no one. It kind of feels like you're just watching a movie.
No.
Like no one ever interacts with the camera in any capacity.
That's interesting.
But it's still like such a clear perspective of Wiseman at the time.
Yeah.
Of it, like I don't know if Vietnam is ever mentioned, but like the way that Wiseman presents it all, it's lingering
Right.
all
That's
throughout the film.
That's really cool.
Yeah.
That would be fascinating.
I think it's playing at the Metro next month, actually.
Oh,
Nice.
we gotta hit that.
Yeah, I'll definitely have to
That's
check
when
that
I'm
out.
gonna be in town. We gotta hit that.
Yeah.
Oh, that sounds awesome. My favorite documentary, just to throw that out there, is kind of boring. It's Harlan County, USA.
I haven't seen that yet. No,
that
it's
one
really
slaps. I just love that one because I just love West Virginian Union vibes.
I thought you were going to say Nanook of the North. That's your favorite documentary.
good. You've had that on.
We
the
did, yeah.
too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
This is your second documentary, I guess.
I guess. Well, I mean, if you count Nanook of
I
the
guess,
North,
yeah.
it's a documentary.
Arguably, it's a little.
I don't know that they made it to be
Maybe
a documentary
the first
even, right?
one was.
Yeah.
That was a great ep. We had Catherine Pallister on that episode.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Great
She's
ep.
cool.
Yeah, she is cool.
Gotta get Trish on before it's too late.
Yeah, we're running out of time.
know.
We got to find a good movie for her.
We're running really low on time, but that'd be fun. Even fourth year, we could do that.
Yeah.
Sounds like we'll be back. But yeah, Harlan County, USA is great. If you like just West Virginian sad union music about like those corporations ain't gonna get us, it's great. It's a great movie.
I have a bad feeling they're going to get him.
They got
Yeah.
yeah. It's really depressing, but
Yeah.
God, it's sad. God.
Yeah. I mean, while we're going in a circle sharing our favorite docs, I think I'm going to go. I love The Thin Blue Line and the way that
Okay.
like story is presented. Like that's a movie that like highlights its subjectivity, right? Have you seen?
No, I
the movie?
haven't. I know. Of
Okay,
it's,
yeah,
the
it's
recreation of
It's
the
great,
police
yeah. Where
scenes, yeah.
they interview kind of everybody at the scene of this crime and each of their like subjective things, and they do the recreations according to their subjectivity, whatever.
Yeah.
So every time it changes, and you're like, I have no idea what happened.
That
Like by
sounds
the end of it,
great, yeah.
it's really
I
really
gotta watch
cool.
more documentaries, man. They're cool as hell.
Yeah,
I gotta make more documentaries.
I couldn't imagine making a documentary. Like it feels so scary to go in and be like, I hope what I'm laying out here doesn't completely change, or like trying to figure something out in the edit like that. I don't know.
Yeah, it's been challenging.
And just like the documentarian is very like personally culpable, like the
Oh
for
yeah.
what they present, which it kind of scares me.
Yeah.
Ever seen Denis Villeneuve started as a documentarian?
Really?
Yeah, before switching to narrative, and he said his the guy who mentored him has never forgiven him for making the switch.
Switching to
I think
Really?
is the guy, I don't know who mentored him, but said like
Who?
that. I guess that documentary is like pure cinema. I guess
Huh. What was his documentaries
I
about?
have no idea.
Because I've seen a lot of early Denis Villeneuve, like Polytechnique, crazy one. Don't know how I feel about it, to be honest, but it's very interesting stuff. It'd be fascinating to see this documentary. Rated R for nudity? No.
Oh, I thought you were saying that was the name of this movie. It's like a
Yeah.
That's the name of one of his short films.
Okay. Not the documentary he made. That feel very far away from what he would make.
Yeah.
Have you ever thought about making a documentary or like
honestly not really.
No. Yeah.
The idea is cool, but I think I just lean more towards narrative.
Yeah, no, that's fair. It seems like a really hard thing to get into.
Because like just finding the subject,
Yeah, exactly.
that's such a challenge.
I've been tempted to make documentaries that like about specific people that I like know or have like encountered. Like I used to work at a library in downtown Edmonton, and there were always just such like interesting characters that would come. Like there's this guy who lives in Edmonton. He's like the Mad Hatter. He's like this old guy. He wears a huge Mad Hatter's hat, and he just does like this fist at every car that passes him by. And he would come into the library just to like hang out and spread his word. So I don't know. I would be
Should
interested
hit
in
that.
making a documentary about him one day.
I want to. I don't really want to do full documentaries unless something really strikes me, but I love just experimenting and playing around with like real live recorded footage type films. Like I started a series where I like interviewed various line cooks I work with at my work in the kitchen, and I only have done one, but that was dynamite. Craziness. Some of the subjects we talked about, it was an individual who had recently got released from prison, had a really long history within some... how much can I say? Had a spotty history is all I'll say. And just like, it's so weird. As soon as you have a camera on someone, you're just like asking them questions in that setting. I don't know if it's disalarming or something, but like they just start sharing and sharing and sharing, and soon it's been 3 hours and you're hearing never before confessed like crimes and stuff. It's crazy. It's crazy stuff.
And you're just sitting on that footage now.
Well, I was never going to release it either way. It was just for funsies, but craziness. Yeah. And I've also shot a documentary, a bunch of footage on a very disastrous film set, just the behind the scenes.
The movie turned out pretty well, though.
Oh,
like
yeah.
That behind the scenes thing, like kind of shockingly well.
Yeah.
Yeah. But that's the way it goes sometimes, right?
Yeah.
You never know when you're on set. You're like, this is a mess.
We always make the joke, if it's a dream set, everything goes well, it's going to turn out trash. But if it's a nightmare set, complete disaster, it's going to turn out heat.
And I think that also has to do with like the obstructions and just like, if you were able to finish a set under such like disastrous circumstances too, it means that I feel like you've had to be more creative with some of the things and choices you've made.
Definitely. Embrace challenges, embrace obstructions.
That's Alejandro Gonzalez Iñárritu quote about The Revenant, because people are like, oh, why didn't you just like, everyone was miserable making this film. It's like, yeah, we could have made this on a soundstage and like go home every night at 5 p.m. but and everybody would be happy, but we would have made a terrible film.
Yeah. Exactly.
Yeah, sometimes.
Embrace the challenge.
Yeah. Sometimes it's important.
It'll imbue the film with the spirit of the set, I guess. As miserable as that is. There must be a balance.
Yeah, because there are some sets where it's like, this isn't, like, they're never going to be able to edit this even.
Yeah. And I also think when it comes into a line of, like, threatening people's safety, I do think that's... art is not quite worth that, unfortunately. And that set I was talking about was kind of one of those things with the actor in the very precarious skin suit.
Interesting.
That was my reaction as well. It was interesting.
Were there any like crazy sets like that during your time at school? You don't have to get into like specifics, but just
vaguely.
I can't think of too many in our year. The one I talked about, like with the
barn.
dead bird. Yeah, that was a tough one. But I have the thing where like all my memories are good memories.
Like, that's great.
Even ones I know at the time were like brutal. When you look back on them, it's like, oh, that was fun. Let's do that again.
Yeah. That's nice.
Yeah,
I'm not quite far enough away from some of them yet to remember them so fondly.
Yeah. Were you on Hunt for Medusa's Head?
Briefly, yes.
Yeah.
I just kind of came in one day and was second AC, I think.
That was a fun set. That was a fun set. I realized I actually said the name of the set out loud, but that's okay. That was a fun set.
That was like one of our first like upper year set. Like hadn't worked on really anything because at least I like did nothing in my first year. I just kind of hung out.
First 4th year set.
Yeah. So getting onto that set where it's like, oh my God, is this what
this is filmmaking?
Is the expectation?
Yeah. That was craziness.
Yeah. It was an interesting one.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I was going to ask related to For All Mankind. Have you guys seen Apollo 13?
Yeah.
No.
Because it's written by Al Reinert.
Oh, really?
Who directed For All Mankind.
That's interesting.
Which I thought was really cool.
Yeah.
That was really cool.
Because I think it was I watched some of the supplements for For All Mankind. He talked about in For All Mankind, there's like the bit of the drama stuff, like when things go wrong on missions. And in the supplements, he said that there's not very much good footage of that because
they wouldn't be
when that happens, you're not like, oh God, I got a good shot of this.
Yeah.
Can you just do that quickly?
Yeah.
So I think because of that might be why he got to make Apollo 13 or got to write it.
Okay.
That's,
That makes sense.
That's
because
cool.
that mission obviously had so much
Yeah.
Yeah.
like history around it.
I'll definitely have to rewatch that movie after knowing that and thinking like,
Yeah.
he has this real. He has
Oh,
so
yeah.
much of
I
this
gotta
footage
check
he
that
knows
out.
about
I
it.
think,
Because in For All Mankind, you see at Mission Control,
Yeah.
they bring out like that box with like the tube and whatnot, and I was like, oh, that's the thing from Apollo 13. Like when the
Yeah.
because that's the most memorable scene to me is when they have to make that device out of like they're like, this is what we got,
Yeah.
make it. They'll make it up there. And,
It's
yeah.
so cool.
yeah. Gotta check that out. How did you feel about the score in this film?
Oh, beautiful.
Yeah,
Very big
incredible.
fan. Very big
It's
fan.
I was thinking about I've been playing Super Mario Galaxy again, which is like one of my
Nice.
favorite games of all time.
Yeah.
And I was thinking about the score of that because its score is also kind of the sort of lo-fi
Yeah.
vibe too. And I was thinking about how every like good space score could also be a good underwater score.
Yeah.
It's because it's all like
yeah.
the spirit of like wonder
The
of
unknown.
of the unknown of exploring.
Yeah.
And
I thought-
almost being in like a completely alien medium, right?
Yeah.
Like on Earth, right now we're walking on the ground solid, but in underwater and in space, you're like experiencing world and spaces completely differently.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, I love the score. It's made by what's his face,
Brian Eno.
and
Yeah.
fucking Daniel
Canadian.
Lanois worked on it, and I love Daniel Lanois. Are you familiar with
No,
Daniel
I don't know
Lanois?
him.
He's a French-Canadian producer who produced the music for Red Dead Redemption 2,
Oh.
which is one of my favorite video games of all time. And he is so good. I love his production and the music he makes so much. And as soon as I knew it was him in this movie, I was like, it slapped. And it slapped. So, shout out Daniel Lanois.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know too much of Brian Eno's like stuff that's credited directly to him. I know all of his producing work, like the like David Bowie's like Berlin trilogy.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
I don't think he produced that, but he worked on it. Produced for Talking Heads.
Yes.
Remain in Lights is one of my favorite albums ever, and he was the main producer on that. Yeah, he's just fantastic. Dune. The original Dune. He produced
So
the
cool.
well, like I think just Toto did
Yeah, it
the
was.
score,
Yeah.
and then he produced for Toto for that.
It's so crazy that Toto did this.
I know, right?
Everything
Kinda
about Dune
slaps.
1984.
I think
Kinda
I kind of
slaps.
like it. I
Yeah.
think it's a fun movie. I like the pug.
It's
love the
tough.
pug.
Yeah.
It's so
And
tough.
the cat milking machine.
Yeah.
It's so weird.
Are there different cuts of that movie?
There
or-
are.
Yes, there are. I've only
Okay.
seen. Apparently, the longer cut is better.
It's on YouTube. I
Is it?
watched it. Yeah. I quite liked it actually. I
'Cause
thought
I've
it
only
really
seen
worked.
one cut, not sure what it was. I didn't really like it too much. To me, I'm kind of a Dune diehard. I read all 6 original books and tried to read the prequel books, but had a crash out doing that. I love Dune. Going into that, I was like pretty open-minded because I love a good adaptation, right? And I think a good adaptation can be completely different from the source material, and I almost encourage it to do so because that is super fun, super creative. I love when movies do that. But this movie was neither. It was a wishy-washy, like, oh, we'll kind of be like Dune, but kind of be a little David Lynchy and kind of be like Star Wars, and it's just a weird mishmash. It doesn't work for me, unfortunately. But maybe if I rewatch it not a hot off the heels of like Dune fanboy fandom, could hit. Yeah.
Yeah, I'd be interested in revisiting it too. It's been a long time.
Yeah.
Ever seen Jodorowsky's Dune, the documentary?
Yeah.
Oh,
That's
I
a
haven't
cool
seen
one.
that,
Yeah.
but the pictures I've seen from it are wild.
That would have been the craziest movie.
There's
Yeah.
no way that movie ever could have gotten
No,
made. His
absolutely
pitch
not.
for it is
Yeah.
like huge and crazy. And then the twist of the end of that movie that he hasn't even read the book is so funny.
Was Dolly working on that movie? Salvador Dali?
Yeah, I think so.
Yes, he was. I don't know which character he was going to play, but he wanted to be
Good
the
Lord.
$1 million a minute man.
Yeah.
So he was going to get paid, like, he was only going to be in the movie for like 2 minutes, but he was going to get paid $2
Wonder
million.
who he would
Yeah.
have been, man.
And Orson Welles said he wouldn't do it until they said he'd basically pay him in food.
Yeah.
Orson Welles was going to be.
He was
a
going
lot
to be
of
the
food.
Baron, I think.
Oh,
That
my
would've been
God.
awesome. That would've been
Oh
awesome.
my God. Okay. Okay. Yeah, I need that.
And Pink
AI
Floyd
make
was
it.
going to do the score.
Make it AI. I don't care. Oh, that's crazy, man. H.R. Geiger, was he working on that too?
That makes sense.
Yeah,
Yeah.
because
Oh my
one of the
God.
things that they talk about is that there's like this book that they made of like all of the spaceships and just like creatures and everything, and like
Yeah.
from that
And
book,
spaceships are
it like inspired Star Wars and Alien and just like that whole kind of sci-fi look through the 70s.
The spaceships I've seen are just like I don't know if they're from that book or not, but they're like the craziest, like colorful, like they look 2D almost, and they're folded over on themselves. I don't know if that's from that book, but looks crazy.
Might be.
Yeah.
But I was there's a great scene that where Jodorowsky talks about going to see David Lynch's Dune.
Yeah.
And he was like, I love David Lynch. I love Eraserhead. I love The Elephant Man.
Yeah.
But he was worried it was going to be too painful to watch it.
Yeah.
And then and I start watching it, and I'm so happy because it's terrible.
Yeah. I
Yeah.
feel that. How do you feel about the Denis Villeneuve Dunes?
I really like them. Yeah, they're not like absolute favorites of mine, but like that was aside from probably Nickel Boys, that was my favorite of the Best Picture nominees last year. Was Dune 2.
Yeah.
Nickel Boys.
Nickel Boys is so good.
Yeah.
As much as I love Dune, Nickel Boys blows it out the water.
Yeah.
Nickel Boys is insane.
Did you know anything about Nickel Boys going into it?
I knew it had
Okay.
the first person thing.
Yeah.
I did not know that it was gonna like be like not standard coverage, but like shot reverse shots.
Yeah.
that
With the
blew
point of view,
my
I was like, whoa! I
mind.
really
so
did not
cool.
expect that.
That
yeah.
blew my mind. We didn't know anything.
No.
About this.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Okay.
Went in
Did
totally
you even
blind.
know it was first person?
No, I didn't.
Yeah. Okay. And the poster and the title of this movie made it seem like a fun coming of age movie.
Not
Yeah.
so.
Not at all.
Oh my god, the whiplash in that theater was crazy.
Yeah.
I feel like there were other people who also came with that expectation because there was it was Metro were in the top left
Yeah.
seats. On the other side of it, there was this group that was so loud,
Yeah.
cheering and laughing loudly, and then somebody told them to shut up. And after that, they kept dropping stuff like really loudly.
was really weird.
as if they're like, "We need to make some sort of noise."
Yeah.
It's weird as hell, but
It was a
fantastic movie. And yeah, what you're talking about with the shot reverse shot, that blew my mind.
Like the boxing scene where they're like going back and forth. That's like one of the best scenes in
It's
recent
so
years.
Yeah.
That was-
fluid, right?
Yeah.
Like I had not seen much first person that I thought was like effective and not gimmicky. Like I enjoyed Hardcore Henry, but it was not something I could overly invest myself into. But this, it was so fluid, and I love how right off the bat they're flexing with the first person. Of
Yeah.
like
Yeah.
the shot of the iron going back and forth. They're looking in the mirrors.
Mm-hmm.
All these super clean shots that
Just so
incorporate
gorgeous.
movement and just seamless first person vision. And then when they fucking introduce the shot reverse shot, it's so cool, so buttery, so clean. Ah, love it. Formally, that movie is so fantastic, and when they pull back onto the third person over the shoulder perspective towards the end, and all the cutting in of like contemporary events, Ooh,
It's so good.
it's so good.
Also,
Yeah.
you know, the cameras were. I just assumed they would be on like actual operators. It was the actual actors that they had the cameras mounted
Really?
to.
Oh yeah,
Which I thought that was
That's
an
super interesting.
interesting way to do it.
Yeah.
oh, it's fucking.
I'd be pretty mad as an operator though. I'd be like, what do you mean? What's going on?
Everyone needs
Melt
to
the
see
job.
that movie.
Yeah.
Everyone needs to see that
Yeah,
movie.
the way that they intercut the like archival footage too is it's so cool. And it
effective,
starts
man.
and you're like, what's going on here? Like, I wasn't fully hooked like at the beginning, but man, it really got me by the end.
Oh yeah.
yeah,
I also for another documentary, I just watched Ramel Ross's Hale County this evening. Another because Nickel Boys was his first narrative, but Hale County was his first
Okay.
feature, that not our documentary feature.
yeah,
Also fantastic, just
Yeah. Gotta
slice
check
of
that
life,
out then.
like
Yeah.
exploration of just people living.
Yeah.
Like would really recommend that too.
Yeah. I mean,
I think it's on the Criterion Channel.
you make a movie like
watch it.
Nickel Boys, you got me locked in for life.
yeah. Very
earned-
excited to
you've
see what
earned
they would
me.
do next.
Yeah.
I hope they don't get stuck in this gimmick though, like in first person.
I'd
mean,
be
like, it's
surprised.
interesting.
Yeah,
I would
I'd
be
be
surprised.
surprised, but,
but-
I feel as long as they can motivate and keep it like fresh,
Yeah.
be cool. But yeah, try new
I'm
things.
curious to
you
see
know.
what else they could do.
Push this film form further. I want to see something new and
Yeah.
different. How did you feel about Nora winning Best Picture?
I liked Nora.
Yeah.
It was it wouldn't have been my top pick. I still haven't seen The Brutalist,
Yeah.
so I
Brutalist
can't
was
speak
pretty
to
good.
that. But I thought it was really very funny. I don't think people
Yeah.
talked enough about it's like borderline
So
slapstick
funny.
comedy for half the movie.
The Armenian
It's like a Three
Boys.
Stooges movie at the
and
end.
it's so, like
Great.
yeah, exactly.
That's what like really made me fall in love with that movie because like I was loving the movie, right? I quite like Sean Baker through the first 2/3 of it, but I was worried like I feel like I can predict this whole movie where it's gonna go, right? It feels like the end is kind of I don't know. I just got into this trap where it's like, okay, I see where this is going, and then they just throw this complete curveball where it's like
Throws
you
a
may,
brick at you at the
yeah,
end.
you may know where it's going, but the way we're gonna do it is so like unique and fun and just fresh. So much fun, man.
And the very ending I thought was just so sad.
Yeah.
Like the
Yeah.
two people. Like I won't spoil it directly, but like two people who only perceive themselves as like items for other people to buy.
Yeah.
It's like kind of trying to connect in that way. Just-
Oh, so gorgeous too. Wasn't Nora shot on an iPhone? Is that what
No,
I heard?
no. That's Sean Baker's thing. Is he,
Tangerine.
Tangerine
Yeah.
was, but Sean Baker only shoots on film now.
Yeah.
Except for
Oh,
the ending of the Florida
that was
project, or not of the Florida project, obviously, just the Disney World scene.
Yeah. How do you
end.
feel about that breaking into the? Because I know a lot of people criticize that, but I love
that.
Yeah,
I thought that was
I
awesome.
think it works really well for
It's
that
dreamy. It's not real.
Yeah.
You know, it's motivated.
movie. Yeah.
God, that movie's so good, man. Willem Dafoe. Oof. Not talked about enough, that Willem Dafoe performance.
No one ever talks about Willem Dafoe.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's so good.
Underrated actor.
Yeah.
Cool. No, I'm just saying, like, people don't mention that performance when talking about goated Willem Dafoe performances.
Yeah.
And they should, because he is so good in that movie, man. Love it so much.
We'll probably get more love now that Honora won.
Yeah.
Going through Sean Baker's filmography.
Those are the only two I've seen. I didn't see Red Rocket. I
I
haven't
really
seen.
like Red Rocket.
yeah.
That is a grimy movie.
Yeah.
It's very fun though.
I love grimy movies.
Yeah, because they shot that one on 16, and the whole thing's like a blow up.
Yeah.
To 35 too, so it
Oh.
has a really distinct
That
look.
sounds really cool.
Yeah.
Yeah. Is it stretched, or how would that look?
No, it doesn't look stretched. It
just
looks. You notice the
enhances the
grain.
grain.
More.
Ah,
Yeah.
okay. That's cool.
Yeah.
That's really cool.
Yeah. No, it's really fun.
I gotta check that out. Yeah, I've
Gross
only
premise.
seen Florida Project and Nora. Gotta check out more.
Yeah.
Shawnee Baker. I like his letterbox reviews.
Yeah.
Those are fun.
Very like direct, I guess.
Yeah.
Great filmmaker.
hmm
But For All Mankind, it's a good movie.
Yeah.
Good documentary.
Very good. I don't know. I didn't give it any rating on Letterboxd. I don't normally like rate the documentaries, so
Yeah, me too.
it gets a like.
yeah.
Yeah.
I feel like I don't have the vocabulary, like or just the knowledge
Yeah.
for
Yeah.
documentaries as much as I do
Yeah.
for narratives.
Especially a documentary like this, where it's like, it's so kind of abstract in its form and
So
just
emotion-
everything.
It's emotive.
It's one
Yeah.
where really like you'll kind of get out of it as much as you put in.
Yeah.
In a sense, like
Yeah, like I think my dad would hate this documentary. Who would look for like, oh, I want a documentary about the Apollo mission where I
Yeah.
like learn these things
Yeah.
and I get to know
I
the
want
characters.
names. I want people.
Yeah,
because there are millions of those, right? Like,
Yeah,
I'm sure
exactly.
the History Channel has
Oh,
made like
yeah.
20.
Yeah,
You
Of
you
them,
don't need
but
another
yeah.
one.
Netflix
Like,
right now, search Apollo.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right? Netflix has probably made 20 this year about it. But this is so unique. And this is like an artist's, vision, I feel, completely.
It's so
And
cool
also-
that it's like it's all pre-shot, right? He didn't shoot
Yeah.
it. Actually, he shot one thing in that movie. I was listening to a little bit of the commentary before you guys got here. The shot of the moon through the window at the beginning. They went in and shot that later.
Oh, really?
So yeah, they were like, it's a real
Oh,
thing, but they just weren't rolling at the time.
That makes sense because that's one of the only moments where like what they're talking about is directly related because the astronaut is saying like I could see the moon and I knew
Yeah.
that's where we're going, so they did
It's
something
right in
right.
front. Yeah,
Yeah.
it's so funny. I love the moment when just before they're gonna like land on the moon and the one guy's like, man, I wish they built this thing for 3 people.
Yeah.
He's like, I gotta stay up here.
I thought ever since I was a kid, I always felt bad for
Yeah.
because I don't even know
No.
his name.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I
the
know
guy
Neil
who's
Armstrong,
so
Buzz
behind.
Aldrin, but
Yep.
the one guy who just did stay up there.
Yeah,
man.
so sad.
Yeah, that would suck.
It's just that SpongeBob meme of like watching them from
Yeah.
yeah.
The rest of your life being like, I was the guy who I was there.
I was
off
almost on the
camera.
moon.
I was
man.
like on the moon. There's just a little bit of a medium.
Yeah.
between me and the moon.
Yeah,
There's a
some
meter.
space, if you will.
There's like a meter between me and the moon.
And the footage on the
So
moon
sad.
is fantastic too.
Oh,
Yeah.
There was on one of the supplements they talked about training the astronauts kind of as camera people because that's not something you really think about, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
But they have to. There's no like autofocus or exposure
Yeah.
or whatnot, so they have to
Figure that out.
figure that
more
out.
of
So
a
they like
technical
the cameras are actually like attached to their suits. I think they can
Okay.
take them off, but
Yeah.
you don't really see that very often
No.
because usually they're
Yeah.
on the other
Very
side.
cool shit.
It's really cool.
Do you think you guys could show this movie to a person who believes the moon landing was fake, and this movie could dissuade them of that fact, or would further ratify their belief?
I hope so.
Yeah, I think you show them anything and they would still like
Yeah.
if they
No,
don't
it was
believe it at
Kubrick.
this point, like they're never gonna
It was
believe it.
Kubrick.
Yeah. Why didn't this movie come out till '89? Because they were working on the special effects, dude.
Yeah, that would be the thing that'd get them.
Yeah.
Also, it's funny, what people say often is like, why is the flag upright? It's like,
Yeah.
clearly there's like a bar in there. Like,
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I
don't
love that
get it.
shot too when they're adjusting the flag. They're like, we got to make it look good. And we got to
Yeah.
make it perfect. Like that's so fun.
Yeah, man. Moon landing was real, I'm pretty sure.
I'm pretty sure.
I'm confident.
This movie swayed me.
It's way cooler if the moon landing was real. Like
Oh,
just
yeah.
I want it to be
I
real.
mean, it's kind of cool if it was fake, just because the fucking technology you would need at that point to fake that is crazy. As a filmmaker, it's like, good work, guys.
Yeah.
It'd be like, good work, guys.
But still.
There was a movie last year it was Scott
Yeah.
Johansson, Channing Tatum, I think
Yeah.
Fly Me to the Moon. I think it
Okay.
was about like in case they didn't make it,
Yeah.
like staging the moon landing.
Which I heard
Yeah.
was like an okay movie, but all the marketing looked really
It looked like
bad.
a fake movie.
It looked like a fake
Yeah.
movie, yeah.
Have you seen Operation Avalanche?
No, I don't know.
Oh,
what that is.
Really? Oh,
that's Matt
Martin-
Johnson.
yeah. Canadian
Oh,
movie.
The guy who
okay.
just did Blackberry. Highly recommend that
I
movie.
I've seen Blackberry. I really want to
Yeah.
see Nirvana the band. The
Oh, yeah.
show.
I haven't seen
It's
that
awesome.
one. I've
I love
seen
that.
the Furies, Operation Avalanche, and Blackberry.
Yeah.
And those three movies present such a fun and fresh filmmaker, man. And I am so locked into anything he makes. Just his combination. It's kind of like what we've been talking about, like the reality of a documentary. He completely plays with that, right? He'll like shoot his things in such a way where he's constantly blending what's real and what's fake. It's
Like
so cool.
Operation Avalanche is a mockumentary about how they
Yeah.
faked the moon landing, right? Like
Yeah,
it's really, really cool.
The archival footage, like, won't spoil, but they do some like compositing with some archival footage in it that is so ingenious and so creative.
Yeah.
Oh,
I'll have to watch it.
And there's a oneer in that movie that's like
yeah.
insanely
Oh.
good. like
It's so good.
like Matt Johnson, like I think of him as like a comedian, and then this moment is like
It-
so
it
filmic
speaks
and so
to-
crazy. I don't know.
Like all my favorite filmmakers, like expertly like dance between genres and tones.
Yeah.
And Matt Johnson, even like only have making a few features, does that so beautifully. Just his ability to like tone switch, as you said there, like between scenes and have
Yeah.
it work. I've been trying. I want to do that in my movies. I find that so impressive and cool, man.
That's like one of the hardest things to do. It's
Oh,
yeah.
like Bong Joon-ho is probably he's like
Oh,
the
yeah.
famous
Oh, yeah.
for that.
I think Mickey 17 kind of dropped the ball on that.
It's my least favorite of his movies, but I still enjoyed it.
Yeah.
Oh,
Exactly.
yeah,
It's a
definitely.
fun
It's still
time.
super fun time, and it's like, after you've made like Parasite, Memories of Murder, Mother, like even his first movie, Barking Dogs Never Bite.
That's a crazy. I'm so glad that they had the no animals were harmed in making this movie before the movie started. 'Cause
Yeah.
it starts with a hanging dog.
It's
Oh.
fucking brutal. But like, I
Great
feel
movie.
like once you made all these fantastic films, Bong, you get your
Do whatever you
crazy
want.
high budgets. Go make a fun B movie with Robert Pattinson.
Well, do
Yeah.
you know what his next movie is?
No.
It's like a animated film about a fish that thinks it has back problems, and it's the only credited actor right now on Letterboxd is Werner Herzog.
Awesome.
Okay,
Incredible.
yeah. Is this going to be another English language or Korean?
I don't know.
language?
I would love to hear
Yeah.
Werner speak
Werner
Korean.
Herzog's
Yeah.
fluent Korean.
Yeah. He probably knows Korean.
Probably,
Why
yeah.
not? He knows every language.
Have you seen that video of him being like all the languages he
Well,
speaks?
that was in the documentary that we watched, wasn't it? They
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
surely. I refuse to speak French.
the
Even
Yeah.
at gunpoint.
a couple
So
years
good.
ago we went to SIF and we got tricked into watching a documentary about Werner Herzog rather than a Werner Herzog documentary. But it was pretty fun, but just kind of surface level look at very interesting guy.
Very generic documentary.
Yeah.
If you don't have a extreme interest in this niche, wacky filmmaker, it's gonna be.
But the thing is, if you do have that interest, you already know all this stuff.
Yeah. It's so generic.
Yeah.
Talk about a documentary that doesn't have like really a viewpoint or
Thesis.
interesting presentation.
That's what I'm saying. Documentaries needs the
Yeah.
hand of the artist.
Exactly.
God.
It's like my same issue with biopics, man. Boring ass biopics. I'm such a big Johnny Cash fan, and the Walk the Line film is so meandering. If it wasn't for Joaquin Phoenix's and Reese Witherspoon's performances in that movie, they're so good, right? They nail the mannerisms, everything, the emotions, the songs, everything perfectly. If it wasn't for their performances, that movie would be so ass. It's not even funny. Because you're taking a movie about Johnny Cash, who is such a fucking like prolific and important character, one of the fucking best musicians ever live. And you're making the most boring by the numbers biopic ever of him. No, instill it with some style, you know?
Have you guys seen Walk Hard?
Yeah, I
Dewey
love
Cox story?
Walk
Oh,
Hard.
so
dude,
funny.
I watched
So
that
funny.
right after Walk the Line, which
Yeah.
is probably.
I mean, like it was basically made in response to Walk
Yeah,
the
Yeah.
Line,
it's probably
I
what
think.
fucked my opinion of Walk the Line, but
Yeah,
I didn't like it really that much.
the Bob Dylan stuff in Walk Hard
It's
is
so
so
good.
funny.
The movie's genuinely so fucking funny, man. Oh my god.
Yeah.
You don't want no part of this, Dewey.
Don't get no hangover.
I can't believe they still were making we're still getting biopics like that.
Yeah.
Like
Bob Dylan movie just came out.
yeah, which
It's crazy.
I generally enjoyed it, but it definitely has like the biopics
Yeah.
thing. Like
It does.
it makes like a superhero moment of when he gets like the slide whistle for How He
Yeah.
Someone Revisited. It's like
Yeah.
okay,
Yeah.
It-
I like that one because it focuses on such a specific period. It doesn't
Yeah.
try and cover a lot, which I
yeah.
think that was a smart move on the.
I also like that
filmmaker's
it
part.
almost doesn't try to pin him down,
No.
which I think is probably a good approach.
Yeah.
Like this kind of unknowable guy, and by the end you know I guess a bit about him, but he still is like a bit of a legend.
Yeah.
That's pretty interesting.
I'm,
yeah,
I'm
I should-
intrigued by the Beatles biopics that they're
Yes,
making, where it's like
yeah.
4 different perspectives on. I don't know if they've announced, but like on maybe similar events, or they're each going to be different events.
Yeah, the writers on those all do not have any contact with each other.
Okay.
I think the only one that's been announced right now is
okay.
George Harrison's being written by the guy who did Conclave.
Okay.
That's very interesting.
So I'm like a massive Beatles fan. So
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm interested. We'll
Yeah.
see how they
That might
turn
be
out.
cool.
Yeah.
Yeah. How did you feel about Oppenheimer? Because I guess that's a little biopic-y as well.
I really liked it.
Yeah, I loved it too.
I saw it in IMAX twice. I got to see
Nice.
it in the 70mm IMAX, which
Yeah.
was
Yeah, me
which
too.
was really
me too.
cool.
That shit was awesome. It's just a movie that, like, has so much style to it, and it, in my opinion, all feels
Insane
very
pace, too.
motivated. Great performances across the board. Just some bad writing at points, and other than that, great movie. Great movie. Love that shit.
Poor Christopher Nolan. One day he'll make a interesting role for a woman.
Someday
One day.
he'll get there.
Yeah.
Oppenheimer might feature like the worst sex scene ever in a movie.
And become death.
Oh man.
It's not even because it's like, no, don't put a sex scene in an Oppenheimer movie. I don't care about that. It's just don't put that in the movie. It's so cringe, man.
They had to put it somewhere. It's gotta be there.
Yeah.
Gotta be there, I
Put it
guess.
anywhere though.
He's so
And then the
exposed. It
movie.
shows. Yeah.
I guess it could be interesting. I don't know.
I think that is probably my favorite of his movies, though.
Oh,
Yeah.
same. Yeah.
That or I like Interstellar a lot too.
Yeah.
I
Interstellar was the
liked
first one that I watched
Interstellar.
where I was like, I know I'm watching a Christopher Nolan movie
Yeah.
kind of thing.
I liked Interstellar. I just had troubles with it because so much of the movie hinges upon your investment in the like father-daughter relationship. And I just thought that was so underwhelming and underfleshed out, that dynamic.
I would just find it
I
very
don't know.
funny how little he cares about his son.
Yeah.
Timothy Chalamet.
Yeah. Oh man.
Or Casey Affleck.
Yeah.
Tenant is great.
Tenet
Was it
kind of
great?
rules.
I need to rewatch
It's
Tenet.
kind of super fun. As like a B movie, it's kind of super fun.
Probably. I did a Tenet New Mutants double feature because they were both out at the same
Oh.
time.
Yeah.
Which was a
Oh.
weird.
Sent a shiver down my spine,
Yeah.
Sam. That's crazy.
I was probably the only person on the entire planet like super hyped for New Mutants. I had been following that
I
movie
haven't
like
thought about that movie
Because it got
since.
delayed a whole bunch.
it got
didn't
delayed.
Yeah.
Yeah, like it. I remember. I think the first trailer came out in like 2017, and it didn't come out till 2020. Like, it's so sad. Could have been such a cool movie.
Yeah. Tenant, though, rules. Watch that in the bathtub on my phone.
Just the way that Christopher Nolan intended.
Yeah.
Honestly, I loved it, man. It was great.
They've got temporal pincer movements.
Yeah, the floral pincer movements. And the
beautiful.
score. So much fun. Love that shit.
Does Robert Pattinson get to do a fun voice in that movie, or is he just
No,
British?
he's pretty.
Oh.
I think he's British.
Dang.
Pretty sure.
He can do anything
Not- not
convincingly,
He's
which is
speaking
cool.
in reverse, actually, the whole time.
The whole time,
The whole
yeah.
time, yeah.
They should have let David Lynch had a crack at Tenet. That would have been fun.
That would have been
David
fun.
Lynch
I
action
want to see
movie.
every filmmaker make their Tenant. That could be fascinating. I just love movies that go hard on like reversed footage stuff because like in Ben's class when he's talking about how like you don't get to see this much because it's really hard to motivate in films. Ever since then, I've been thinking about Tenet, like being like, okay, yeah.
You still have to watch Twin Peaks as well.
I do.
Oh, you haven't seen Twin Peaks?
No, I haven't.
Like,
I've
best
tried.
Thing.
Yeah, ever. So
Yeah.
good.
I've tried.
That was the set that filmed at my house.
Yeah.
Straight Shooter. I remember everyone was just talking
yeah.
about Twin Peaks, and I was
Yeah.
like, "This is awesome."
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because I think it was about to, or Firewalk with Me was about to play at Metro,
Hmm.
and the whole group of us were gonna go, so we were all like catching up and watching
That's a
it,
blast,
and just
yeah.
talking about Twin Peaks.
Firewalk with Me is like
I
the
gotta get
one.
in.
It's the movie I love the most that I have not been able to revisit
That's fair.
because it's like, well, it's also like it's an
Pretty
investment
brutal.
to like watch because I feel like I'd want to watch the show again before
Yeah.
watching
Yeah.
it, but also it's just it's
Looks
a lot.
pretty brutal.
It's very it's heavy.
Yeah.
Ben, our teacher, showed one clip of it in class at like a Canadian bar.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Crazy stuff.
Not
Not even the craziest part of that movie.
R.I.P. Mr. Lynch.
Yeah.
sad.
Very sad.
Now just thinking about him.
Yeah. Have you seen all of his movies?
Not everything. I haven't seen Wild at Heart, and I haven't seen Inland Empire.
My first
Okay.
Lynch, Wild at Heart.
Oh, really?
Yeah,
That's
it's
a
a
good one.
blast.
Yeah.
10th grade.
Oh, wow. That's
Yeah.
early.
I saw Nick Cage and I'm like, shit. I was doing Nick Cage November. So
Willem
then-
Dafoe with his funky teeth.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Scared me, that movie.
I haven't been able to find it yet, but have you guys seen The Straight Story?
I
haven't yet.
I
So good.
haven't,
Yeah.
man. I didn't know that was
Really
based
wanna
off a
watch it.
real
Yeah.
little account.
Mhm.
Yeah. I'll check that out.
Yeah.
I'm sure Lynch
It's just not
adapts
available
it
like anywhere. Is the thing.
faithfully.
I saw Naomi Watts just had an interview that her and Laura Dern were like set to star in
no,
something that he
it's
was going
sad.
to do. It's like, don't tell me that.
Yeah,
That's
exactly.
so heartbreaking.
yeah.
Because Sam, for like years, entire film
Yeah.
school, pretty much, he's like, dude, Lynch is like, look on his Twitter, dude. Like, he could be dropping something.
Yeah.
Well, every like month for years, there was like some rumor that Netflix
Yeah.
was going to
Yeah.
be like there was like
Wisteria.
Twin Peaks season 4 was like rumored for
Yeah.
Didn't
a long time.
the CEO come out after Lynch's
Yes.
I
passing?
hate that. I hate that he said that.
Yeah.
Ted Sarandos was
Yeah.
like, "Oh yeah, we were getting there." I was like, "No,
Shut
you
up.
weren't.
No, you weren't. Liar. You stopped him. I know it.
You funded the Electric State or whatever
Yeah,
it's called
instead.
for like $300 million."
$320 million.
Ugh.
Nothing. So bad.
I love talking to my coworker about that movie, and he's like, "It was okay, kind of shit. The designs were cool." I'm like, "Dude, just do you know it was like this movie was based off something?" He's like, "No." I'm like, just go look at the old pictures, like what it's based off. It'll make you hate this movie so much. Like the art is so lost in that movie.
Doesn't it make you happy though that Avengers 6 is now in production or whatever? They just
You
announced
know
the
what?
cast
Starring
today.
Ian McKellen and
yeah,
James
I
Marsden.
was shocked to see Ian McKellen
Ian
was back.
McKellen?
They're bringing
Yeah.
back like all of the old X-Men,
Yeah.
like
Oh,
Kelsey
he was
Grammer,
X-Men.
Beast, and
Yeah.
My mind immediately went to Gandalf. I'm like, oh my god, they're getting desperate.
Gandalf is here. They're bringing in everybody, like
Yeah.
Diddy Kong is.
Yeah, exactly. Why not?
Yeah.
Fucking get
Anything that
everyone.
sticks.
Get Minecraft in there,
Yeah.
dude. Ugh. No, it could be kind of could be the best movie of all time.
Probably.
Avengers.
I hope they announced that like Kelsey Grammer, Beast, and Alan Cumming Nightcrawler
Yeah.
gonna be there, which I hope they have like crazy action scenes, like 70-year-old Kelsey
Yeah.
Grammer and 60-year-old Alan Cumming.
Oh man.
What are the odds those movies could be pretty dope, pretty good?
I don't know. Even the fact that they're just starting filming now is kind of worrying to me.
Is that worrying?
Well, like they
Wasn't it
already
coming out
talked
next
about
year?
crunch so much, and yeah, it's coming
Yeah.
out next year.
It's coming out next year.
Yeah. I
think so.
That why?
And these are like
man? I feel like the
very
MCU
VFX heavy movies.
The MCU is not in the public lexicon right now. Is
Oh,
it?
because
they're
they
washed.
announced
Yeah.
them, right? And this is they live and die by their
Are
schedule.
people talking about Marvel right now? I don't know.
I mean, we're talking about it on
We're
the
talking
pit,
about
so
it right
people,
now, yeah.
people are talking about it.
That's
obviously.
true. But like, I feel like we're tapped into movies. People who aren't tapped into movies usually are somewhat tapped into Marvel. Are they currently tapped into Marvel?
I think less so than like in
Yeah.
2018, 2019.
Yeah.
But I think those movies still make money.
Okay.
Yeah, generally.
Okay. That makes me happy.
Thank God.
Where would we be without Marvel?
Yeah.
Without the Marvel Cinematic Universe.
Oh, Marvel could be cool, man. Marvel could be really cool.
I was like, when I was a teenager, Marvel was my absolute
Oh,
favorite thing.
me too.
Yeah. I liked it. I liked quite a bit, a few of them. Like I really liked Iron Man's. I thought like just his character fit the tone super well, like the quipping and all that, right? It felt in place, the quipping and the Marvel humor with a character like Tony Stark, because like he's a douchebag millionaire, and Spider-Man because he's a stupid little kid. But then every movie is like that, and it's like, oh, leave me alone. Stop.
Yeah, there's no sincerity.
Oh yeah,
There
it's like
can't be.
no serious moment, no scary moment, no sad moment.
That was my biggest problem with the new Captain
And
America
then-
movie, where it has such like an interesting topic, right? It's like this,
It
black
could be
guy going
cool.
to represent America, and they like
could
laugh
be
at it. Like
cool.
it's so weird.
They just used the veteran character. What's
Yeah.
his face? Isaiah or something.
Yeah.
It's like a throwaway plot device. Ugh. Hated that movie like so much. But Infinity War kind of fucks. I kind of like Infinity War just because that ending is so unique and cool almost. Just like that theater experience in 2018, man, just the cultural hubbub around that. And you knew it wasn't going to stick, the ending. But in the moment, it was like, oh shit. Like 20 years of, no, not 20, 10 years of characters just got wiped out.
Yeah, I mean, it's true. I was generally like tapped out by that point, but even I still was like, oh, I gotta go opening weekend. So
Yeah,
I don't.
it's- Exactly.
It was fun. And Thanos isn't a super deep character or anything, but he was compelling, which is more than half the roster of those movies. And to end on him just smiling, it's like, okay, Marvel, okay, that's kind of sick. And then they completely undo it, which of course they were going to, but they didn't have to, man. They didn't have to.
Nah. At least it's not the DC universe.
This makes me so sad. Batman's so cool. Superman's so cool. But they
I'm excited for the
suck.
new Superman movie, though.
It could be good.
Cautiously, I don't know. There's something about it that it doesn't smell right.
I watched a great James Gunn written movie last night, Romeo and Juliet. And
Okay.
Did he write that?
He did.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh.
He's in it for a little bit, and Sean Gunn's in it as well.
That's
yeah.
fun.
I really like that movie. It was-
I hope it turns out great. 'Cause we need a good Superman movie right now. Just a hopeful, just a hopeful.
Yeah, I know what
movie,
you mean,
right?
yeah.
Like not a cynical fucking Superman movie. Just a hopeful movie about choosing to do good.
yeah.
That'd be sick. That would hit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think it'll be good. I have faith in James Gunn. He's an
We'll
interesting
see.
guy, interesting
Yeah.
filmmaker.
Guardians are good.
Mm-hmm.
I like the Guardians.
Yeah, I think that was the last Marvel movie I saw. Was the third Guardians of the
I
Galaxy.
think me too.
No, you watched Captain America 4 in the
Oh.
VIP theater.
God damn it. Yeah.
How could you forget?
Yeah, how could you forget?
Many reasons. God, that movie sucked.
Yeah.
Never been so mad watching a movie. I don't know. Ugh, that's neither here nor there.
Yeah. Well, we normally end these podcasts with a recommendation from the guest.
Ooh.
And I know your recommendation was probably going to be Captain America 4.
Oh,
yeah,
yeah.
I
Maybe.
took it right out of my mouth.
yeah.
Brave New World.
Yeah.
I'll say I would recommend Nobuhiko Obayashi movies outside of House. I feel like everybody
Okay.
knows House,
Yeah.
which
Yeah.
it's fair.
Good
Like
luck.
that's one like I said at the beginning of the episode. That's like one of my 5 favorite movies of all time.
Yeah.
But he's got such an amazing filmography. Like in my opinion, he was the best filmmaker of the 2010s. He put out 4 like absolute masterpieces.
Oh, he had a movie that came out not Labyrinth of Cinema.
Labyrinth of Cinema is one of my
Okay.
favorite movies ever. It's
Yeah,
that's
that's been on my
Hanagatami,
watch.
7 Weeks, Casting Blossoms to the Sky. Also his 80s outputs, Miss Lonely. I think She's Gonna Her Sister was 91, but Beijing Watermelon. And all of these are like on the Internet Archive. Like they're
Yeah.
Okay,
they're
so-
available. But they should.
Yeah.
I really want them. I want Criterion.
Give me
to-
my
Yeah,
next deep
get it.
dive. Thank you
So-
very much.
Yeah.
They're fantastic. And like he was still making in the 80s, less of his stuff looked like House, but by the 2010s, it was totally back in like that
That's awesome.
crazy
Would you
style.
recommend going through them like chronologically? A little bit?
Maybe I kind of hopped around.
Yeah.
Okay.
I think Hanagatami was the second one I watched, which I got to see in theaters in Vancouver, which
Oh,
was really
Oh,
cool.
that's awesome.
Yeah.
After I left that movie, there was like 5 people in the theater, and a woman came up to me afterwards like, "Did you just watch that movie?" And I was like, "Yeah." Do you like it? And I was like, "Yeah, I thought it was amazing." Are you an artist?
That's
Yeah.
awesome.
But yeah,
Oh.
he's the best.
Yeah.
Random question: have you seen any Takashi Miike movies?
Yes,
Yeah.
I've seen Audition,
Yeah, boy.
and Each the Killer.
Yeah, boy.
Which both of those
Each the
movies,
Killer.
when I was a teenager, I said I'm never gonna watch these, and I didn't. Oh, they're great.
Yeah, Ichi the Killer's fucking crazy.
It's
good,
wild.
man. That
Yeah.
ending
Yeah,
is so. It's maybe the funniest thing I've ever seen, man.
rules. Yeah.
Like, just so. I want to spoil it so bad, but I won't for your sake, Samuel.
Yeah, I haven't seen either
It's
of
so funny, just like this setup with certain characters you get, and you're expecting such a big climax or whatever, and just the sad and pathetic, almost like temper tantrum you see. That's all I'll say is so good, so funny, man. Oh my god.
Each of the Killer is one of like the not even like physical violence, but one of the most messed up scenes ever between like the. I can't remember if she's like a prostitute or
I believe so.
and Ichi.
Yeah.
It's
Crazy
It's
movie.
wild.
Crazy movie.
I want to see his Phoenix Wright movie.
Yeah. Oh my god, he has so many movies. That's
he
why
has directed,
I
like
was
150
reminded.
or something like that.
Yeah.
Wow.
And he like is doing kids movies. He's
Yeah.
doing like his hyper crazy violence movies. He's doing samurai movies. He's
That's
hats
crazy.
off to him, man. He does not get talked about enough. Prolific filmmaker. Check out Gozu.
Okay.
Crazy one.
Thanks for
I feel like
Gozu.
I've had so many movies added to the list just for this conversation. It's
Gozu.
crazy.
Crazy.
Yeah.
We out.
Well, thank you so much for
Yeah,
coming on.
of
Yeah,
course.
that
Thank
was
you for
great.
having me. It was awesome.
Yeah.
Thank you very much.
All right.